What's going on, rogues? What's going on? Good morning, man. It is Monday, the week before the Labor Day weekend, and I'm telling you, talking about challenges, talking about physical challenges, I tell you, I created this podcast to be, positive and encourage of, and so people can see the raw things, no editing, no BS, absolutely nothing, right? So as far as I've been running for a while, but for the past couple of days, dude, I literally got hemorrhoids, right? And I was like, and my wife just like, oh, I got them before, and you tell me you've been running with this shit, and you didn't tell me how actually painful that shit is. And no, I just it's wow. I was like, fuck. So for the past week, because I work from home, so I've been I'm sitting all day, almost all day. I try to stand up in between my calls. So finally, I modified my desk so I can be a stand up, because that could be a lot of things. There are things we run too much that can be one of the factors, and could be a lot of things, right? But I never had them, and I was like, holy shit. But it brings me to my point of these little things, these little adjustments your body is telling you to. Maybe my body was telling me to, because I've been running a lot. We've been, working, running in the heat. So that could be one of them. So I decided to. So last week we just really didn't run because, I kept thinking, what David Goggins will do. Like, no, we run with pain and all this shit. I said, well, you know what? I got to be sitting on my desk. So I had to, relieve that, pretty much that stress on my ass. I never had this shit. So it's for me was like, well, no, I had it all the time. But why you didn't? I was so mad because, next time because it is, anyway, but it is part of life that you got to be uncomfortable. So today's Monday, so I feel a little better. We might do a little run today, maybe a mile, and see. And because actually the last time I remember, I ran a 10 miler, and I kind of felt it. So that probably a reason why. But anyway, so for the past couple of years, I've been re-strategize how to take care of my body in a way that you're aging. I'm 50 plus years of age. I think I look pretty damn good, right? But I had to continue to work, but I had to readjust. Like, I was watching the U.S. Open yesterday for a little bit before I went to bed, and one of the champions was Roderick. I don't know his name. He was playing with these probably 20 year of age, and looks like in the game that the younger was kicking his ass. And I don't know if he was feeling tired or in the first round. And like I always said, we are getting old, so you cannot compete with a 20-year-old, right? But we keep forcing our bodies to, it depends. If that's how you make a living, but everybody has a lifespan and the next session in your life is coming. And as I was watching a movie a couple of days ago, a story about this dude that was riding broncs, those horses, but he was actually an artist because he was painting in between sessions. He had concussions, but he was forcing himself. And he almost died a few times. And he met this chick, and he said, look, dude, this is, and he said, no, I'm just, you can sell this art. It was pretty good art. And my point is, we ignore the signals that we are battling a job that maybe you're doing, but that's not your end. That's not the end game. That is just the beginning, right? That is just the beginning of a new era, but we keep forcing ourselves to to do things like for example, this last week we just literally I relaxed because it was so uncomfortable. Because it was just, I never had this shit before, so I was like, what's going on? And for the past couple of years, I've been changing my habits, changing the way, I've been 4 years sober, so I don't drink, I don't smoke. So I've been in a different diet for the past couple of years, that it is changing the way, the way I sleep, the way I do things, right? This is my daily walk, right? Every day I go for a walk, regardless, either it is 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So I'm constantly moving, because humans are to be moving all the time. So I'm glad that, see, I walk in this path, so you can see this, there's a lot of sidewalk. A few weeks ago, I found a fence post, right? Those big, thick fence posts, right? Little lane that you can buy them in Home Depot for that. They probably cost like $10-12. So, which is very expensive. So I picked the darn thing and put it on my car. So I know I'm gonna use these things eventually, and that's exactly what I did. I cut these pieces in about 4 pieces, and I'm using that as I raised my monitors. I put those 4 stacks of wood, so my monitors are raised. I raised my keyboard and my mouse, so I'm going to be standing up for now, because I've been wanting to do that. Because after you sitting for a couple hours, because you're talking on the phone with your headset, and making your sales, right? You got to be standing up. And finally, I'm like, okay, so I'm ready. So I'm excited because the desk is in a standing mode. So I'm ready to rock and roll. But make sure since this Labor Day weekend is coming, I know here in the South, football season is going to be underway soon, and and the NFL is going to be soon, and you have like the Major League Baseball playoffs and shit, so people are distracted and watching TV and doing other things, right? It's been almost a month. I haven't checked the news. I haven't turned the media. I haven't turned, as I was doing in between calls, I have a little that I can click MSNBC, and I was, kind of doing my research and doing just between calls. I decided to fuck it. I decided, no, I'm not going to put none of that shit anymore. No news. I don't know what's happening, because I'm in a transition to going to a completely different level. I bought a book on Ayurveda, which basically it is the amount of how the ancient Indians, right, used to like vegetables and different sets of grains and sets of your food habits has to be changing after a certain age, right? The older you get, like for example, I'm not a big meat eater. Like yesterday I was craving a burger, so we had a burger, but most of the days, we have sometimes we have some pasta, we have some rice, we have some salads, right? Some smoothies. So I'm, some, like sweet potatoes and broccoli and a lot of those plants, right? No grease, no fat, I don't drink, I don't smoke, right? Because we don't see this shit until you start going to your changes in your life. Like this past week that I have the bloody fucking hemorrhoids, I was like, fuck, man, I never had this shit before. And I was like, come on, man. It was like, it's painful, bro. Like, not basically, technically, but it is basically a pain in the ass, and it's so uncomfortable. A lot of pregnant women, they do have them, and I have a lot of respect for, for women. Cause I was, oh no, yeah, I had it all. I said, oh, you go, do you what? And you actually, because we have been running in the heat for the past couple of weeks, and not last week, and it was like 92 degrees, and we've been running like 2-3 miles in a 94 degree weather. And I told my if you have, just let me know, because I'm not gonna put you in that position, because I know how that feels. It is very uncomfortable. Even she's standing up all day, and she does a lot of standing up. Me, I'm sitting, and actually they said this, sitting, that's what can cause too as well. So this week I said I'm already changing I'm going to be standing up all day for now. I raised my desk, and I am ready to go, man. Change your lifestyle, change the way you, the way you pray. So I got up this morning. Now the good thing about the South is, the fall is underway. So, the 90s scorching hot is not going to be anymore. Today feels going to be probably like 85, 83, 85. So just still really good. Humidity factor is going down now. So I'm like, okay, so finally, we've been training anyway. So it's going to be a good transition into the fall season. So it's a continuing preparation. It's a continuing, meditation. They continue to express good, positive thoughts in the world, just being a good human being. So this upcoming holiday weekend, man, we ain't going anywhere. We're just gonna stay at home. We're gonna do our run because we have people are off, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. Some people are gonna be out, and voting, and they're gonna be, drinking. They're gonna be going, going to games and concerts and all this shit. And well, I know we do exactly the opposite. We do completely exactly the opposite on that. So we're just gonna pretty much do our run. Go a bunch of gym sessions. I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna still do more yoga again. So we're just gonna really pretty much do a lot of different stretches, because I think that it is since the fall season start soon. We're gonna start doing more more yoga, more of a stretch sessions, right? Because I didn't know they called an hybrid athlete. And hybrid athletes do, you do biking, swimming, high intensity workout with the run. So we do pretty much, because be at the gym all day is it can get pretty boring. So have a good afternoon, have a great week, have a great blessing week, positive, encouraging. Let's go. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and have a great week. Hold on, let's see, here we go. Because every time at 8 o'clock, at 8 o'clock it is, look, now I can tell. There you go, it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, baby. I have an hour left to go on my phones. I'm going to be excited. Have a good day, man. Have a blessed day, and just do for others, man. Talk to others. And if you haven't talked to a good friend, or you haven't followed up with, hey, I'm just calling you to see how you doing, man. I was thinking about you, man. I was just saying, how you doing? Let's go.